November 12th, just this past Monday for us. By the time this video goes up, it'll probably be the last week.
Yeah.
But no, on November 12th, which is also the day that Veterans Day was observed on, because Veterans Day fell on a Sunday, Stan Lee passed away. I think it was due to maybe pneumonia complications.
See, my thing is, once you get that old, any death is just being old.
Kind of
like your body doesn't
borrowed
have
time at that point.
Right, your body doesn't have anything to fight anything, so it's like that's what I always chalk it up to.
Yeah. But yeah, Stan Lee, he was 95 years old. I didn't know he was that old.
See, I'm the exact opposite.
Super spry
I've been looking
for
at that.
A guy.
I've been like looking. I knew how old he was, and I was like, oh no. Like I've actually like kind of
been preparing yourself,
bracing
for
myself for it. I'm like, it's gonna happen soon.
I have two. I honestly have two, because I keep seeing, every time I see him in a cameo of something. He was even in the Spider-Man game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a cameo in that too.
Awesome.
But he every time I would see a cameo, I was just like, man, he keeps getting older and older. Just like, and one day he's just not going to be.
I
here
heard
to
that
do
they
cameos.
pre-recorded a ton of cameos already.
He has, so he's got a cameo coming up for Captain Marvel. He's got one in Avengers.
I've heard that they did a lot. Like they pre-made just a bunch, just so he can be in future films.
I don't know about that.
Maybe there's not. Something my friend told me that.
The last one I heard that he filmed was the X-Men Dark Phoenix one.
Okay.
So.
Well, that'd be cool to see him. It's good that he could be in Avengers 4.
It's also interesting to note that his wife passed away last year. So, okay. And of course, very, very sad. Of course, he was 95 years old, so he definitely had he lived a full life, very active all the way up to his death. Like, that's how I want to live. I don't like the whole idea of like the whole idea of like retiring to me is like, no, once you retire, that's when you like basically start to die. Like you have nothing to do.
You can golf.
Huh?
You can golf.
You can golf. Yeah, you can only golf so much.
Club.
I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. You can only golf so much. But yeah, I want to say I pulled this up earlier this week because I was talking with someone about this. So Steve Ditko. Do you know who that is?
Name sounds familiar.
He's the co-creator of Spider-Man along with Stan Lee.
Oh, okay.
He died earlier this year. He died in June. He was 90 years old.
Huh.
Nothing.
No one said anything about it?
Not a thing. I mean, it was reported by like, the Hollywood Insider and the Hollywood Reporter, but as far as it making like national news, nothing.
Well,
and I understand, like, Stan Lee, he was very, very vocal, very out in the open and in the spotlight. Someone that I was speaking to this week called him a diva, or a bit of a diva that always had to, have attention on him. But that being said, he always had good things to say. He always had encouraging things to say with people. And just kind of growing up, like my experience, the first time I ever heard Stan Lee do anything was the 2000 Spider-Man game. And he actually he narrates like the opening and closing of each of it's like broken up into like 6 acts or segments of the game, and he like does like the opening of each one, like narrating.
Cool. He's got a cool voice.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it sticks out. And I didn't even know what he looked like then. I feel bad. I kind of imagined him kind of being a bit heavy, but he's never been heavy. Yeah. He's always been a bit on the skinny side. But that was the first time that I ever heard about him. This is before like he just did cameo and cameo and cameo.
Right. Well, of course, that's when I started. I started like noticing. Like I would watch. I grew up watching Marvel films, and I would start being like, what's up with this one guy who just keeps popping up in these movies? And I finally like asked, I think it was like one of my parents, I was like, probably my dad, I was like, why? Do you know why this guy's been in like all these Spider-Man movies?
Why are they making it a point to have this one guy in all of them?
Yeah. And he goes, well, that's Stan Lee. And I'm like, who is Stan Lee? And he's like, I don't know. And he's kind of like the Marvel guy. I'm just like, yeah.
You just imagine your dad saying that.
Yeah. And so I'm just kind of like, oh, Stan Lee, the Marvel guy. And so like then I made it like a point to just look for Stan Lee, and then of course later on I learned who he was, and I always thought that was kind of cool, just that he was like, it was kind of the first. I feel like that's when cameos started kind of like becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you look for them nowadays and they're kind of like more popular, but like I feel like he almost like he was some of the earliest like just cameos being in all the movies. And so I had like fun like just growing up like looking for him in the movies, and I'd always like laugh at his like parts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So here's everything that he was involved in. I think this is everything. Could be missing a few things, but he was involved in the creation of Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, the X-Men, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man.
Didn't he make the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, the Fantastic Four.
That was like all him. Maybe I'm wrong.
With the Fantastic Four, he he was a co-creator.
Okay.
And I remember him saying, because I think it was on like the DVD for the original Spider-Man movie, the Sam Raimi film, where he's being interviewed about creating Spider-Man, and he wanted to make a superhero that just wasn't like your typical superhero. And he came up with Spider, and he said that his producer was like, "Are you crazy? You want to make a superhero based on a spider? People hate spiders. People are afraid of spiders. No, this is not going to be successful." So that's why the first appearance of Spider-Man is not like his own comic book. It's Amazing Fantasy number 15, I think. Like that famous thing with him like holding on to the web and like carrying a dude. Like that's the very first appearance of Spider-Man. It's not.
Does he look the same?
Yeah, he looks the same. Yeah. But he kind of snuck him into a compilation issue.
And people were like, "This guy's dope."
Yeah, because they weren't gonna take a chance on just making a whole comic book on him. Like, so that's where he snuck him in. But yeah, I just thought that was like, yeah, that producer has a point, but at the same time, like, nobody likes bats.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I know with Spider-Man, like he was like one of the first superheroes that was made just to be like your everyman kind of guy.
Right. He was made
everyone
as an answer to like Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, like
someone that
they're invulnerable.
Everyone can
in
identify
ways.
with.
Right.
Like,
and he's
a high school kid who delivers pizzas.
I mean, he's got life problems. He's got problems with his love life and
school and all that crap.
Yeah, like he's got everyday problems.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really appreciated what he did. I mean, gosh, the world of comics wouldn't be what they are. The world of movies wouldn't be what they are. The world of video games wouldn't be what they are without him. Like, he really did. There were some shady things that went down between him and the co-creators that he created things with, like Jack Kirby and But I mean, that's just that's how things are.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Nature of the beast.
Yeah, and don't get mad. I know this one celebrity came out calling out celebrities for posting selfies with Stan Lee as like a way to remember him on Twitter, and he was like, if you think that remembering someone is posting a selfie if you think that's all it takes to remember someone, like he's like, we need like a cultural reset. And I don't want to say his name because it's not worth it, but
if you want to remember someone, look at pictures of you with that person.
I hate it when people take something that's like people are already feeling bad about, and they have to like
add to it.
They have to just add to it. It's just like, dude, just let people mourn their own way, okay? Yeah. You don't need to take this moment from him, but Mr. Lee, you will be remembered very fondly.